The following is a presentation of RMG Sports, award-winning championship television.
Race fans, get ready for Chase to the Checkered. You better have your chin straps buckled up for this week's show. We've got all the fender grinding, photo finish racing from Jennerstown Speedway coming up. So give your dad a hug and watch where you park, because Chase to the Checkered starts now.
So for race fans, start your engines. Okay, that's the part that confuses me. Hi, I'm Eileen Wagstaff from Davisville, Pennsylvania. Race fans, start your engines.
Race fans, welcome back to Chase to the Checkered. Once again, rain forced Jennerstown Speedway to move its Saturday night show to Sunday afternoon, and the Chase to the Checkered crew was on hand to get all the action. First up on this week's C2C, the Jennerstown Speedway Street Stocks. Number 76 Billy Mossdaller and number 75 June Wyant were battling for the early race lead. But Wyant gets loose on the back, setting off a chain of events at the end of the pack. Wyant and number 99 Jason Fritz were involved in the incident, and then number 29 Curtis Hamer added his 2 cents. That's definitely worth a C2C second look. The restart put number 73 Roger Onstad on the outside of Mossdaller, and he quickly passed the 76 for the lead. Number 0 Dink Colarusso was right behind Onstad, and he got by Mossdaller for second. Colarusso then made short work of Onstad, passing him seconds later, taking the lead 5 laps into the race. Colarusso built up a tremendous lead and went on to win the Street Stock feature, leaving Onstad and Mossdaller to fight for second. This was the second consecutive win for the West Mifflin driver.
I don't want to jinx myself. I've had some good starts, and then I had some really miserable centers of the season, so I'm hoping not to jinx myself by talking too much about it.
Colarusso was followed by Roger Onstad, Billy Mossdaller, Jason Holder, and June Wyant in the top 5 finishers. The win keeps Colarusso on top of the Jennerstown Speedway Street Stock points. He's 10 points ahead of second place Roger Onstad. Jason Holder, Jason Fritz, and Josh Dunmeyer round out the top 5 in the Jennerstown Speedway Street Stocks points. Next up, the Tommy Gale Hallmark Trailers Pro Trucks. In the first of 2 feature races, number 96 Todd Price led every lap and took home the trophy. This was the second feature win for Allen Banks Todd Price in 2003 at Jennerstown.
Being able to start in the front row is a big help. Changing the chassis around from what we had last week, we had a different spring combination, just didn't work with running through the day here, so we think we got her back.
Price was followed by Jason Lasky, Josh Kokenauer, Marion Reno Jr., and Curtis Stewart in the top 5 finishers of Race 1. In Race 2, 2002 Division Champ number 8 Marion Reno Jr. shot out with the lead. But pole sitter number 55 Curtis Stewart blew a tire and would bring out the caution as his truck limped into the pits. Todd Price also suffered from tire problems, and his crew worked to get him back out. Not quite the 14 seconds you're used to seeing in the Craftsman trucks, but the crew gets him out to rejoin the pack. On the restart, number 20 Josh Kokenauer is alongside of Reno, but Reno shoots out with the lead. A few laps later, last week's winner, number 97, Jason Lasky, had worked his way next to Josh Kokenauer to battle for second. With Todd Price in tow, these two would race door to door for nearly a dozen laps. But Lasky got loose and collected Todd Price, damaging both trucks and bringing out the caution on lap 16. Both Price and Lasky would come in for repairs. Reno jumped out in front of the pack on the restart and went on to take the Checkered. Marion Reno Jr. is the defending division champ, and this was the first feature win for the White Oak driver at Jennerstown in 2003.
We had luck tonight or this afternoon, because Todd and Jason got together there or whatever happened, but hate to win like that, but unfortunately, can't take them however you can get them.
Reno was followed by Josh Kokenauer, Adam Kostelnik, and Dave Manns. Number 41, Derek Wink, was stripped of his third place finish. He failed the post-race fuel inspection and was moved to last place. Todd Price was able to make it back onto the track to salvage a fifth place finish.
Oh, we were coming up through the field there. They had debris on the track, cut a right front tire and got us way behind. Coming back up through, and Jason was running there beside the 20 truck and just couldn't get around them. Didn't want to make it 3 wide, and then Jason ended up getting loose and spun and gathered us up.
But Jason Lasky did not return to the competition.
Just wasn't our night, I guess. Running Josh pretty good. Side by side, we never touched the whole time. And as long as he kept me pinched down like that, just went into the corner, got a little too loose. And I knew Todd had to be all over us. I just lost it and was right in front of Todd. That's the way it went down.
The win moves Marion Reno Jr. to within 8 points of points leader Todd Price in the Tommy Gale Hallmark Trailers Pro Truck Division. Jason Lasky, Josh Kokenauer, and Adam Kostelnik round out the top 5 in the point standings. Coming up on Chase to the Checkered, we have 4 more divisions to cover, including the Rolling Rock Late Models and the Jennerstown Speedway Modifieds. But first, let's see if you can make the connection. Brought to you by RaceFansConnect.com, the ultimate place to meet race fans. Like most NASCAR tracks, Jennerstown Speedway was once a dirt oval. What year was Jennerstown Speedway paved, becoming an asphalt oval? Was it 1975, 1981, 1986, or 1995? We'll have the answer later in Chase to the Checkered. Welcome back to Chase to the Checkered. In the men's enduro feature, Somerset's bad Brad McCoy in the number 31 took home the win.
It's hard to get around some of these guys out here. If you start out front, then you know you're up front and don't have to worry about until they come up behind you.
McCoy was followed by Patrick Parlock, Gregory Lohr, Corey Snowberger, and Larry Miller in the top 5 finishers. Now, the action from the PA Legacy Series. Number 59, Kyle Martell, held the early race lead, but number 04, Rick Boyer, was in hot pursuit. 3 laps in, Boyer surged alongside of Martell and passed him on the backstretch. Number 4, Brett Boyer, followed his big brother Rick and passed Martell for second. Soon, number 70, PJ Ehrlich, made his way through the pack and got by Brett Boyer for second. 2 laps later, Ehrlich uses the inside groove and gets by Rick Boyer for the lead. Ehrlich ran a superb race and won the caution-free PA Legacy Series feature at Jennerstown Speedway. This was the second win of the 2003 Jennerstown Speedway season for the 17-year-old Oakmont driver.
Oh, it's very good. Just everybody in the pits, they're just all big family. It's what we like to call it in the Legacy Series. We all help each other out. Yeah, it's because I've been racing with these guys for a while. I knew that if you give them a little bit of room, they'll give it back to you. So patience is key there.
PJ Ehrlich was followed by Rick and Brett Boyer, Jamie Bolkovac, and Chris Brink in the top 5 feature finishers. The win pushes PJ Ehrlich to the top of the PA Legacy Series points. He has a 2-point lead over second place Chris Brink. Jamie Bolkovac, Rick Boyer, and George Stockman round out the top 5 in the PA Legacy Series points. Now, the action from the Rolling Rock late models. The Brooks Automotive Group pace car dipped into the pits, and the silver bullet of track champion number 98 Neil Brown led the field to the green. Alongside is number 95 Gary Wiltrout, but he would soon move behind Brown for second. While Wiltrout chased Brown, number 11 Bobby Henry moved alongside of number 60 Tommy Beck and fought for the third place spot 10 laps in. Soon, number 75 Barry Audi used the high side to get by Beck for fourth. A few laps later, Bobby Henry and Barry Audi began their assault on number 95 Gary Wiltrout. Henry got by first, and Audi soon followed, sending Wiltrout to fourth. 2 laps later, Audi would use the inside line and pass Henry, snatching the second place spot. While Audi, Henry, and Wiltrout were fighting for position, Neil Brown had built an incredible lead. Lap traffic slowed the leader a bit, but not enough to keep Neil Brown from crossing the finish line for the victory. This was the 3rd win in 5 races for the Acme driver.
Well, I knew Larry was real good today, and we was a little worried about him. We're struggling here in the daylight. I don't know what the problem is with our setup, but we just can't get the car freed up in the daylight.
Oh, he's still running as hard as we could. We were pretty much equal right there for a while. Then when we got in the lap traffic, I started catching him more. So, hey, you know, he started on the pole and we started 10, so I'm satisfied with that.
Neil Brown and Barry Audi were followed by Bobby Henry, Gary Wiltrout, and Mark Catone in the top 5 finishers. The win keeps Neil Brown on top of the Rolling Rock late model point standings. Bobby Henry, Barry Audi, Mark Catone, and Gary Wiltrout are the top 5 point getters in the Rolling Rock late model points. Coming up on Chase to the Checkered, we have all the highlights from the Jennerstown Speedway Modified and Charger Division features. But first, here's your chance to make the connection. Brought to you by RaceFansConnect.com. What year was Jennerstown Speedway paved, becoming an asphalt oval? Was it 1975, 1981, 1986, or 1995? We'll have the answer when we come back to Chase to the Checkered right after this. Race fans, welcome back to Chase to the Checkered. Now it's time to see if you made the connection. Brought to you by RaceFansConnect.com, the ultimate place to meet race fans. What year did Jennerstown Speedway become a paved oval? Was it 1975, 1981, 1986, or 1995? What did you guess? Then owner Heine Lasky paved the Laurel Highlands Oval in 1986. Jennerstown Speedway became a NASCAR-sanctioned speedway a year later. Did you make the connection? Let's get back to the highlights. Next up, the Jennerstown Speedway Modifieds. Number 31, Matt Smith, had the early lead, but number 37, Paul Urso, was ready to pounce. But number 15, George Nicola, would bring out the caution when he spun in turns 3 and 4. Number 77, Brian Stevenson, joined him sideways, but neither made contact. On the restart, Urso tries to push his way past Smith. Number 42, Jason Bush, comes alongside to challenge for second. But Urso brushes him off. Six laps in, number 13, Chris Vergonia, has trouble on the backstretch. Jennerstown's EMTs and safety crews were on the scene in seconds to tend to Vergonia. The red flag was thrown, and the field of modifieds came to a stop as the crowd held their breath for word of the driver's condition. Vergonia was complaining of neck and shoulder pain, so he was taken to Conemaugh Medical Center in Johnstown for treatment. It was discovered that Vergonia had a broken shoulder from the impact. Thankfully, Vergonia is in much better shape than his modified. On the restart, number 37, Paul Urso, used the outside line and got by number 31, Matt Smith, for the lead. On lap 10, turn 4 was again unkind to number 15, George Nicola, as he got sideways, along with number 57, Vince Kiter Jr., bringing out the caution and bunching everyone up. On the restart, Urso, number 1, Mike Bacalon, and number 42, Jason Bush, all lined up and sent number 31, Matt Smith, back to 4th place. Urso had to fight off Bacalon for the rest of the race, right down to the last few feet. Urso narrowly wins the modified feature. This was Paul Urso's first modified feature win in 2003 at Jennerstown Speedway.
Yeah, car was going away a little bit, and I'm not sure why. I knew I had Mike behind me, and he usually gets me on those kind of things, so I was glad to hold him off once.
My car was a little bit tight on the center. I think I could have got above him a little sooner. I just kept trying to get above him, try to get above him. He wouldn't make a mistake and let me on the inside, so like you said, it was just another good race up here, that's all.
Urso and Bacalon were followed by Jason Bush, Matt Smith, and Bernard McQuillan in the top 5 finishers. The win moves Paul Urso on top of the Modifieds division points. He's just 2 points ahead of Mike Bacalon. Matt Smith, Jason Bush, and Brian Stevenson round out the top 5 point getters. And finally, the highlights of the Jennerstown Speedway Charger feature. Shortly after the race started, number 24, Chantal Germick, got by number 19, Scott Bowman, for the lead. The caution would fly on lap 6 when number 97, Cody Ramsey, slid into the spun car of number 79, Bruce Bond. Bad luck continues to haunt Bond in 2003. This is the 3rd consecutive week the number 79 car has been damaged. On the restart, a smoking Chantal Germick again shot out with the lead. Number 74, Phil Grubbs, and number 19, Scott Bowman, get by the number 02 of Mike Stevens, sending him to 4th. At the race's halfway point, Bowman is sideways coming out of turn 4, taking him away from the front of the pack. With 2 laps to go, Phil Grubbs had worked his way to the inside of Chantal Germick to challenge for the lead. As they came to the line, it's too close to call. We need to take a C2C second look. Phil Grubbs wins it by the paint on his front bumper. This was the first 2003 Charger feature win for Stallstown's Phil Grubbs.
Couldn't do without all these guys over here, man. I don't know what I'm doing. Bill said if I shut up, I can't drive. But my knees are knocking, man. Chantel run me clean. It was a good race.
The final laps were amazing. I mean, I couldn't believe that it was that close. When I heard on the radio he was coming, I was like, uh-oh, what am I going to do? But that was the best race I ever drove in my entire life, and I had a lot of fun.
Grubbs and Germick were followed by Mike Stevens, Greg Preisner, and Dwayne Knoll in the top 5 Charger feature finishers. North Huntington Chantal Germick holds on to her lead in the Jennerstown Speedway Charger Division points. Greg Preisner, Phil Grubbs, Mike Stevens, and Rick Phillips make up the rest of the top 5 in points. Race fans, you don't want to miss all the motorsports action coming up tonight at Jennerstown Speedway. Tommy Gale Trailer Sales presents the Tommy Gale Memorial 64, a 64-lap Pro Truck feature. Plus, the Super Mini Cup cars are making their return to the Laurel Highlands Oval for a national event. Over 40 of these tiny speedsters are scheduled to race in a national event tonight at Jennerstown Speedway. Then, the rest of the racing will rock the mountains as the Rolling Rock late models, modifieds, street stocks, chargers, and PA Legacy Series will be racing. All this excitement for one low price. Adult admission is just $10. Kids 12 and under get in for free. Race fans, how's that for affordable family fun? I'm Steve Richard. Thanks for watching Chase to the Checkered. We'll see you next week right here on UPN 19. But we hope to see you tonight at Jennerstown Speedway.